Hey yo, praise Jesus. Manze. So I have a word up hivi from the book of John. John imekuwa a favorite book to me. A brother of mine put me on to this book now. Amazing. So the book of John chapter 6 verses 65, and he says, he went on to say, this is why I told you that no one can come to me unless the Father has enabled him. Hapa hivi ni after Jesus Christ alikuwa anatoa na sermon and about his body being the bread and his blood being that drink that will quench our thirst and whatnot, and kukakuwa na some gawanyiko between the disciples that were with him, and there was a grumbling of some sort hapo hivyo. There are some who went, there are some who remained, and Christ akawaambia hivyo, this is why I told you that no one can come to me unless the Father has enabled him. So this verse stood out to me kwa history yote, because I came to realize it is God actually who orchestrates everything pertaining salvation. God wants you. This is what this verse is saying. Like, if you're saved, if you're walking in this pathway of righteousness, like being in heaven, ni Mungu ndo ukuchoose. That's why you might even stray away from this path, but God will allow something, even if it's hurtful, even if it will break you, ndo tu asikupoteze. Like, God really wants us to be with him, you know, in the kingdom of heaven. He wants us to walk with him here on earth in full righteousness, away from sin. Yesterday, a friend of mine, Eularia, sent me something. It was a story about a blacksmith, how silver is being refined, ama akitengeneza panga and whatnot. And kwa hiyo story ilikuwa nasema that this blacksmith stays akishikilia that sword, you know, despite the heat, despite ile steam kimchoma, he has to hold it. And the lady who was talking to the blacksmith, trying to inquire how that sword is being made, and kanamuulizaje, why do you stay hapo hivyo ukishikilia, don't you know that you're gonna get burned or whatnot? Na akasema if he leaves it for even a second, the silver might melt na isitokee how he wants it to. Na akamuuliza, for how long does it have to be in that fire being refined, in that furnace? Akamwambia, until I could see my image being reflected on it, until it is pure kabisa. So alikuwa perplexed, because that is how God is with us. Because God, even if you're going through the hardest and the toughest of times, hiyo changamoto, that challenge, you see that you think that it can kill you, imagine God anakuanga tu hapo. He feels the pain with you, anastay na wewe hapo in that particular situation. Akiwa na wewe, you might be like, God, you're in heaven, you don't even know what I'm going through, you don't feel what I'm feeling, but God feels what you're feeling, manzejo. Na atakuacha hapo hivyo until now you start reflecting on him, your actions, your thought process, you know, how you interact with people, the love you share, whatever the case may be, yani your lifestyle, until your lifestyle reflects upon him. So hii verse ni kukushoaje manzejo, God wants you to be with his son so that you can be with him, because he put his word above his own name. Now word ni Jesus, because the word in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God, and the word was made flesh and dwelt among men. It is Jesus, you know. So usiwahi fikiria ati you're far gone, you're beyond redemption. You're not, as God. Imagine God wants you. Actually, I feel like God wants you more than you want him. So if sin has been condemning you and making you feel like you can't go back to the Father, please go back, man. There's nothing that can separate you and me